This is Air Canada, and today I'll be flying Air Canada from Toronto to Grenada. Air Canada is the flag carrier and largest airline of Canada by size and passengers carried. The airline, founded in 1937, provides scheduled and charter air transport for passengers and cargo to 222 destinations worldwide. It operates major hubs at Montreal Trudeau, Toronto Pearson, and Vancouver. Air Canada is a founding member of the Star Alliance. Hello from Toronto Pearson's Terminal 1. Today I'm super excited to be flying with Air Canada, but there is a lot of controversy on whether it's a good or bad airline. But we'll get into the reviews later. Let's start off with our check-in. So we made it to self-check-in, and everything ran smoothly, and within no time, our bags were off. Alright, so we finished with our check-in, and now we made it over to security. I'm going to continue this off once we get through our security and everything's checked. Alright, so we made it past security, and now we've reached our gates. So here we got a beautiful overlook of the apron with all the Air Canada and Air Canada rouges. So now we're heading over to the E-gates so we can make our flight. Alright, so we made it to our gate, and now we're just heading down to the jet bridge. So, before crossing that, we saw this beautiful Ethiopian A350, 900 parked, getting ready for its flight out to Addis Ababa. So today we'll be flying on the 7-year-old Air Canada 737 MAX 8. So let's get a little background check on this aircraft. The registration of this aircraft is Charlie Foxtrot Sierra November Quebec, and this guy has been loyal to Air Canada, flying for only Air Canada through its entire life. The plane being delivered to the airline back in June of 2018 has faithfully served Air Canada for its entire life, flying to various destinations for the airlines around North America, the Caribbean, South America, and even Europe. Alright, so before we start boarding, let's go over our reviews quickly. So I did expect this. A majority of Air Canada's reviews are categorized under terrible, second place is good, and third is excellent. So I did kind of expect this, because with majority of bigger airlines, there are a lot of terrible reviews. So Air Canada has an overall rating of 3.0 stars out of 5, which isn't necessarily good, but also not necessarily bad. There was a plethora of bad reviews. Majority of the bad reviews were rated 1 star, and majority of them were talking about delays, flight cancellations, incompetent staff and route staff, as well as little to no compensation for delayed or canceled flights. Now, majority of the bad reviews were exactly like this one, complaining about lack of information, lack of resources, lack of compensation, route staff, and delays and flight cancellations. Now, when I mean there were a lot of reviews, there was a lot. And after a long while of searching, I finally found a good review. After this, I found a lot more good reviews. But now, let's go ahead and start boarding the aircraft. So we made it into our seat 25B successfully. And now here we are parked beside this beautiful Ethiopian A350. Now, I didn't get the window seat, but thankfully the kind lady beside had no problem with filming for me. So, I decided to check out our Air Canada safety card, which was well designed, and just as I started to check it, we were beginning our pushback, which is a good sign because we were departing perfectly on time. And here are these Air Canada branded headphones. and there was a decent selection for entertainment options. And then we had just finished our pushback and we were starting to begin taxi. So, enjoy this amazing taxi as we make our way to runway 23. Now here's a smooth takeoff off of runway 23. So we have taken off, and I'll see you guys once we get to our cruising altitude. Alright, so we just made it up to our cruising altitude, and in a few moments I'll be checking out the cleanliness of the washroom. Alright, so we made it to the lavatory, so let's get inside and check the cleanliness. Alright, so we made it to the lavatory. The lavatory was pretty small, but it made sense since we're on the 737 and it's a smaller aircraft. But the lavatory was really clean. The only mess that there was some water on the ground from when people were washing their hands, which is usually normal. There was coat hangers, you had tissues, paper towels, and toilet paper. The washroom was clean, you had your amenities, you had your soap, and the soap smelled really good. So once again, the washroom was really clean. Alright, so after the laboratory check, I made my way back to my seat, and by that time, we were going to begin our descent. So, we are currently on our approach into Grenada. So without further ado, I will stop talking and enjoy this time-lapse of our approach and landing into Grenada. Grenada. What? Oh, Lord, this is... we made it to Grenada safely and pulled into our gate without any problems or any delays. Now it's time for my final thoughts, reviews, and opinions. Now, is Air Canada as bad as they say, or is it another airline with a bad reputation? So, let's start off back at Toronto Pearson. So at Pearson, staff were friendly and were ready to help. They were helping passengers that had questions about their flights, inquiries about their flights, or were having trouble with locations, their flight, or information. Now, the check-in process was smooth, it was quick, and within no time, my bags were being sent to get loaded onto the aircraft. So that was a quick process. Now moving on to boarding the aircraft, the boarding process was quick and easy. We got on perfectly on time, and the staff on the aircraft were nice. The people at the boarding gate, as well as the flight attendants, were really nice, with a smile, and they greeted everyone as they boarded the plane. Then we departed perfectly on time. There was no delay. And for the cleanliness, the aircraft was clean, the floor, the seat, and the lavatory. There was no mess at all. But the only problem was the entertainment. But me personally, I am just picky when it comes to entertainment. The seat was nice. It had chargers, USB ports, and all the amenities you would need for your devices. So, what are my final opinions on the airline? I think Air Canada is a really good airline that gets hated on way too much, and it's overly hated. Now, the reason it's hated is because for its delays, but with a lot of major airlines that operate many routes and many flights, they are bound to have lots of delays. So I think Air Canada is overhated and is realistically a really good airline. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other posts. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Altitude Aviation, out.
Is this where we're going? As I said, yeah.